Yes. Hi there. I am your global EOS block producer interview series, BitSpace. Before our interview, please allow me to make a self-introduction. I am the head of global community for IMUS 猫片. Would you mind to make some self-introduction?
Yes, I'm Francis, marketer in IMEOS. I will be the one who does follow-up after each interview, and I'm also responsible for helping developers on project incubation.
Yeah. Nice. My name is Matthew Bryce. I'm Chief of Marketing for BitSpace.
Okay.
I'm Christian Lins. I'm the Chief Strategist and co-founder of BitSpace.
Okay, great to meet you. Thank you.
Good to meet you too.
Yeah, thank you in advance for being a part of this interview. So we know BitSpace is an established blockchain innovation network with strong knowledge and extensive experience with DPoS technology, thought consulting work. Hosting the DPoS chains for over 6 months and being a block producer in BitShare. Lin, could you please go ahead and give us a brief overview of BitSpace? Let us know how you guys came about as a EOS block producer. What have you done so far? What are your definitions for EOS block producer and BitShare block producer?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've been holding multiple events. We operated the first Steam at Hackathon globally, and the first EOS meetup in Scandinavia, and also the first EOS hackathon in the world. BitSpace was founded in 2015, and we've been following Daniel Narman's work since 2013. We've held multiple events, conferences, meetups, and hackathons. And we also have an annual event called Crypto Finance each year, which connects the traditional business world with the blockchain world.
Okay, and as we know so far, there are block producer candidates who solely focus on technology. At the same time, there are also candidates who act as a evangelist or maybe marketer, maybe fundraiser. So if BitSpace becomes a block producer, what will be your main direction and what will be your main focus?
Our main focus will be on community and building the community globally. Within that, you have the educating and collaborating with different developers, and also making sure that the technology and the updates are going around the community at the same time. So one example that we're doing is we're building the EOS Academy. The EOS Academy will be the first educational institution built in Oslo, Norway, where developers can come from around the world and learn how to build on EOS. And we are organizing academy events now throughout Europe, where developers can come and learn about EOS. And once the academy has been built, then we can start running courses and educate people. In regards to community initiatives, we will be planning community initiatives that the blockchain industry hasn't seen before. And these will facilitate the mainstream adoption of EOS. So we're looking forward to what's to come.
Yeah, we interviewed some block producers and they all have their preference when talking about that. Like EOS Sybase, they build the decentralized exchange on EOS. EOS Canada co-focus in developers' experience, so they create tools for dev developers. In your opinion, when you are going to work on dev project, what kind of dev will be your top choice? Do you prefer to creating dApps yourself or helping developers to incubate?
We work as an incubator, so we'll be operating this process within the EOS Academy. So we will be developing decentralized applications. The ones that we see have most value for the EOS ecosystem are ones that can actively engage people with the framework of DPoS. Voting tools, for instance, are the first of many to come. So those are the form of decentralized applications that we value, and we will be developing many in the future.
Yeah. Do you think that EOS is too complicated to use for ordinary users? What should developers do to make the things easier and thus bring more users to the EOS ecosystem?
I think the original goal of Daniel Larimer was to create decentralized applications that are sort of indistinguishable for the end users to the centralized alternatives. So as we all know, Daniel Larimer created BitShares, a decentralized exchange, to sort of compete with Mt. Gox. And if you really want to be successful in that goal, you have to create something that is as good or better, because many people in the world don't really care about the decentralization aspect. So we have to be able to create services that are competitive in the marketplace. And with BitShares, for instance, that meant creating a scalable solution with very low latency. And it meant being able to operate it in your browser. With Steemit, his next project, that was about creating a decentralized social media platform, sort of like Reddit. And there again, the goal is to create something that is indistinguishable from the end user. He innovated using fee-less transactions, so you don't have to pay for doing each vote. And I think services like that, innovating to keep things competitive in the competitive with the centralized alternatives, is essential to be successful. And now with EOS, I think this is providing a unified framework. You can explain it to the mainstream as a decentralized operating system where people can create their own applications. And then these applications will have to be world-class in terms of user interface and UX. So I think that's sort of the goal we're trying to achieve.
Yes. Comparing to our communities, what are the unique advantages of technology or culture when BitSpace camping for the block producer?
But by being situated in Norway, we have a unique cultural advantage in some ways, because Norwegian business, it relies on professionalism and trust, and these are fundamental. As a country, we embrace green, renewable energy sources, and we have good hands-on experience with events and hackathons and meetups and a history within the DPoS community. So by being where we are and in the position we are as a company, we have a unique situation, and we think it will provide a lot of value for EOS.
Okay, and in our last interview with EOS Canada, we asked them what's their advantage, and they mentioned that there is a great banking system in Canada. One of their goals is to create more interaction with the major financial institutes in North America, and they want to educate more banks to be the on possibility offered by EOS. On the other hand, there are some very realistic problems they are facing. For instance, most of the major banks in North America are part of the Ethereum Alliance and are building private blockchains on Ethereum. Therefore, there has to be a very significant EOS use case in order to persuade those banks. So far, we have no idea when the specific use case will come out to us. So maybe this year, next year, or maybe even longer. So for BitSpace, have you ever faced similar problems? Or we say in the current blockchain world, we almost always have to create something new in order to deal with something that was previously established. For this, do you have any of your own experience to share, or the challenges that you can't solve it right now, so you have to wait till time tells?
Yeah, I think one thing that is important to note is that the space is evolving very rapidly. It is sort of an exponential technology, and there are new innovations all the time. So I think an important emphasis should be placed on learning and research and trying to predict what will happen. Because if you develop an application that takes, let's say, 1 year to complete, then you will have to know that the blockchain space in 1 year can accommodate and be suitable for that project to ensure a successful launch. So I think that's something we're very aware of and considering. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a definite clear lag time between the traditional industries and the blockchain world. And as Christian has said, it's moving at a very high velocity. And the challenge, I think, is to educate traditional businesses. And crypto finance is one example of this, where we get people from the traditional business world and we combine it with people within the blockchain space. And so the two worlds can learn from each other. And it's very important to educate businesses on what's new, right? And what's happening and what's current. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we face as a community. But EOS provides us with a viable option. And if we can explain that and we can go into scalability and how the system functions, then I believe that if we communicate with businesses in the right way, that will open up.
Yeah. So if you want to establish a block producer evaluation report model, which targets should be considered? What's the most important part of such evaluation model for now?
Yeah, I think all block producers are different. And they all have their own methods of giving value to the ecosystem for EOS. I think in order to measure ourselves, it would be based on technical development, capital allocation, of course, and how the block rewards are being spent, and also measuring community engagement. With those three things combined, that's how we would like to measure ourselves, and we hope that there will be some form of consensus within the VPs as to what is right and what is wrong. But those are the 3 points that we would like to measure ourselves on, at least.
Yes. Finally, for the stance on the block producer independence, how will you demonstrate that independence to the voter?
BitSpace is already an established business, an established blockchain business, and we have a good track record in the industry. We've been around for a long time. We've been very transparent about everything that we're doing. So I think that's very important. So BitSpace was founded in 2015 by Manuel, my brother, and I, on the values of individual sovereignty, voluntary association, and political and financial freedom. And we were active even before that in the BitShares community ever since ProtoShares. So we've been following Daniel Lermer's work for quite a while. And I think it's about having the track record and the reputation, but it's also a matter of communicating, being transparent, honest, and reliable, to make sure that everyone knows everything that we're doing.
Yeah. Before the end of interview, do you have anything to say to the Chinese community?
Yeah. No, we have good experience building the EOS community throughout the Nordics and Europe, and we would love to welcome the Chinese community into our journey and what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.